Greetings everyone, my name is Christopher Holmes and I will be leading and facilitating a discussion on inferring independent variables. This can be found in chapter 4 of Sager's book, particularly on pages 62 and pages 63. This presentation will discuss the role of the researchers in identifying the outcome goals of the research that you're doing, the criteria to measure those outcomes, as well as the changes needed to achieve those goals. The terms used in the book are dependent and independent variables. The dependent variable is synonymous to the priority achievement goal. I typically say the dependent variable is the outcome. It is what is produced. And the independent variable is the one thing that you are changing or manipulating in order to get that particular outcome. The dependent variable is the outcome, while the independent variable is the researcher's actions in altering or changing or manipulating those factors to yield that outcome. There must also be a criteria to measure the achievement target, which is your dependent variable. So once again, the dependent variable is also called the priority achievement target, or that's your goal. For example, if I want to lose 10 pounds, and that's my goal, that's my achievement target, there must be some changes in my eating habits, in exercising, and the time I commit to achieve this goal. I will measure the goal by weighing myself using a digital scale that measures in pounds as well as in grams. So let's make a connection. So in that example, the dependent variable or the achievement target is to lose 10 pounds. The independent variable, or the thing that I will do, my actions, the things that I will alter, the things that I will manipulate, could be my eating habits, exercising, and the time I commit to exercise and losing the weight. The criteria in which I will measure that goal will be through the use of a digital scale, which will measure in both pounds and in grams. Sager states that in this step, you should combine what you already know through your personal experience with what you've gathered from your review of literature. So your personal experience plays a critical part in identifying those independent variables that you will infer. And of course, some of those variables can be produced or yielded from the literature that we read. But there has to be a combination of the two for it to make sense and work for you as a researcher. So generate a list of the critical independent variables that may need to be addressed to achieve the priority achievement goal. So you have to really think about those things. So if we're talking about education, and we know that one of the biggest achievement goals right now is student achievement or student growth. So some of those variables, independent variables that could impact students achieving, it could be teacher collaborative time. Is it available? And if so, what does it look like? What are they doing during that time? Increasing the use of data and increasing the access of data to teachers as well as to students. Specifying professional learning. So we're not just going in and every time we're having professional learning, it's diverse, it's wide ranging, it's not aligned, but something very specific to meet the students and the teachers' needs. The establishment of expectations and norms, not just in the classroom, but throughout the building. What is the culture and the climate of that building, and how is that translating back into the classroom? The teacher's ability to really manage the classroom. What is the teacher's content knowledge? How is a teacher pedagogically implementing instruction? Increased faculty engagement. The type of assessments. Student readiness, student reading levels. All of those things are independent variables that could impact the dependent variable or the achievement target. Establishing prioritization. So besides thinking of the independent variables that are important to the research, you must also think about what is the importance of the identified variable. What is the priority? How does it rank in all those things that we thought about in terms of the biggest impact? And the integration and or interactiveness of the independent variable. Thoughtfulness in this area helps in reasoning how and why or the reasoning of the how and the why of variable importance, and in crafting a strategy for the research. In my own research, when I think about independent variables and inferring how important they are in terms of prioritization, I must think about those things that will be actions of the teachers and the students. These variables can potentially be controlled by the teacher. These variables, with little manipulation ability, either by the researcher or the participants, should be given low priority. So in terms of discussion, these are things that maybe you can think about in your own research. What will determine the factors that gives priority to independent variables in your own research? What are those variables that you are inferring? What is the priority of those variables? And what are those things that you feel will give you the biggest impact to achieve the target that you're trying to gain through the research that you're doing? Independent variables and dependent variables are very critical to research. Many times they may not be given as much emphasis as they need to, but if you really have an achievement goal that you're trying to reach, really strategizing and developing key independent variables to achieve those goals will be critical in you reaching the ultimate product. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this may have helped you, or maybe caused you to think a little bit about what you're doing and the way you're going about doing it, and those variables that you're really thinking about that's going to really reach the achievement target for your study. Thanks so much. Have a great evening.